What's good, YouTube? It's your man Rage King back with another one. Yes, another upload to the channel. And before we get started, I'd ask you to please go down there and hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell for notifications if you're new. Welcome to Rage Rants TV. This is how we do. Rage and Rebels make some noise. Now let's get into it. Now in today's video, we're going to be discussing who I believe should be heavily considered or should be the next head coach of the Houston Texans. Because we can all agree that Bill O'Brien, his time is up. We all know his time is up and should have been up a long time ago if you ask me. You can tell in the body language of the players and their play on the field, they know his time is up. They don't believe in him. Anyone in their right mind that is a Houston Texans fan, hell, even if you're not a Houston Texans fan, you can believe and honestly see that Bill O'Brien, his time is up. He's just got to go. He's absolutely terrible. I wouldn't necessarily say he's a franchise killer, but he damn sure killed ours, okay? Well, he's trying to anyway. So, now, let's get into it. These are just my opinions. Again, go down in the comment section if you feel that there's a different candidate that I'm not going to name that you feel should be considered to be head coach. Go down there in the comment section and let me know. Let's get into it. Now, the first name I think should be considered to be the next head coach of the Houston Texans is going to be Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is the current offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs just won the Super Bowl last season. The Kansas City Chiefs got to the AFC Championship the season before that and probably should have gone to the Super Bowl that year too. He's a great offensive mind. I believe he's one of the most underrated, if not the most underrated, offensive minds in the NFL right now that is not a head coach. I'm sure Andy Reid would sign off on what I just said on that. His track record speaks for himself. He's currently coaching a Super Bowl MVP and a league MVP. And from the way we see it now, the way Patrick Mahomes is tearing up the league now, even though he's gotten off to a slow start and still winning games, it's a sure bet that he knows what he's doing. And I believe that if he had a talent like Deshaun Watson, if he can do that kind of talent with Pat Mahomes, and he can have a generational talent like Deshaun Watson at his helm too, he could also do great things with that guy too. And I just believe he should definitely be considered, if not full on hired. He's who I personally choose should be the next head coach of the Houston Texans, just to give that fresh face. It powers up the offense. You know he's going to come with great play calls. You know he's darn sure going to call more better plays than Bill O'Brien ever could even dream of drawing up. And he's going to actually call them, and that's going to be. And I believe in the guy. I really do. If he's not going to be the next head coach of the Houston Texans, and he does get a head coaching job anywhere else, I believe that will come back to bite the Texans. And then you know what? If they don't go and sign him this year, I would be calling him right now if I could. If I'm Houston Texans right now, if I'm the owner, if I'm Cal McNair, I'm calling him right now to let him know, hey, we definitely want to get you in for an interview. If not, just bring you on, because Bill O'Brien's got to go. That's number one. Number two, this name is probably going to surprise a lot of people when I'm going to say, but hear me out when I say. The second name I believe should be considered to be the head coach of the Houston Texans should be offensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Bucks, Byron Leftwich. Now, I say that name to a lot of older Houston Texans fans that's been following the team since its inception, or a little bit later than that, for a couple years at least. You know that name Byron Leftwich does ring a bell. It sounds very familiar because Byron Leftwich used to be the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars and all those many divisional duels we've had with them when the team first came into the league. So, and then you look at what he did in Tampa Bay. Now, I know you look at Jameis Winston, Mr. I can't stop throwing interceptions. He did a phenomenal job with Jameis Winston, even though Jameis Winston can't seem to stop turning the ball over. What do I mean by he did a great job with Jameis Winston? Even though Jameis Winston is no longer there in Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston, despite 30 interceptions, still was the quarterback of the top 5 offense in the league. Top five scoring offense in the league last year. Facts. He also threw for 5,000 yards last season as well. Though a lot of turnovers, he still did throw for 5,000 yards last season. So now, you get rid of the turnovers and you get rid of Jameis Winston and you replace him with Deshaun Watson. It will be very interesting to see what Byron Leftwich could also do with a talent like Deshaun Watson, because Deshaun Watson doesn't turn the ball over unless he absolutely is just trying to make an absolute play. And he's very smart with the ball. I know, interceptions and turnovers in football, inevitable. They're going to happen to everybody, of course. But it can be said that Deshaun Watson is definitely careful with the football. He makes smart decisions. He's a very bright young man. And to see him with the right coaching, especially with a young coach and a talented offensive mind like Byron Leftwich, to show him the ropes and everything like that, and show him things that I know Bill O'Brien simply isn't teaching him right now, that would definitely help him progress even more. And plus, it's been said and it's been proven in the NFL, what is the one thing that can help a quarterback develop more than anything, a former quarterback who had a lot of success. And that is what Byron Leftwich did. He had a lot of success. Though he never won a Super Bowl, he had a lot of success with the Jacksonville Jaguars in his time there. He had a lot of success in the league. That cannot be argued. Number 3 is definitely going to be a name that surprised a lot of people, but you've been hearing his name float around being an NFL head coach for over a year now, and that's going to be head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, Lincoln Riley. He coached Kyler Murray. He coached Baker Mayfield. Both of them went number 1 overall in the draft. Both of them, well, I would say Kyler Murray now more than Baker Mayfield, of course. But both of them have had relative success in the NFL for their short stints in the NFL so far. And I would definitely like to see, and I think Lincoln Riley would not just be good for Deshaun Watson. I think it would be a breath of fresh air for not only the Texans organization, but Houston Texans fans as well. Just to see a fresh, young face, new in the league, do what the Arizona Cardinals did with Cliff Kingsbury, and bring in a fresh new college coach with a great offensive mind that's going to be, who's had a lot of success at the collegiate level. And let's see if he can try to transcend over into the pro level. I believe that an offensive mind like Lincoln Riley would be good offensive, not just for Deshaun Watson, but good for the pieces that Deshaun Watson has to throw to him. Even though it could be argued, I'm not going to get into that. But I just think overall that would be a breath of fresh air, not only for Deshaun Watson, but for the entire Houston fan base, the Houston Texans fan base on top of the franchise. Just seeing a fresh young coach, a fresh new face, doing what the Arizona Cardinals did recently with Cliff Kingsbury, and doing what the Rams did a few years ago with Sean McVay, bringing in a fresh young mind, a brand new culture, and just see where it goes. Just experiment and see where it goes. Number 4 is another guy I think should be considered to be the head coach of the Houston Texans, would be the offensive coordinator of the Ravens, Greg Roman. Greg Roman was the offensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers when they had Colin Kaepernick and they went on their Super Bowl runs. He's also the offensive coordinator of the Ravens, as I just said, so he's coaching and calling plays for one NFL MVP, Lamar Jackson. Now, it can darn sure be argued that Deshaun Watson, given his skill set, is what Colin Kaepernick and Lamar Jackson are trying to be. And that is no disrespect to Lamar Jackson or Colin Kaepernick, but it can be proven. It has been proven that Deshaun Watson is definitely a better passer. He's definitely more accurate than Colin Kaepernick and Lamar Jackson. And you give him an offensive coordinator like Greg Roman to call the kind of plays, to open up his playbook, really, because he doesn't just have to call RPOs. He can call them, because Deshaun Watson has every bit of athletic talent that Colin Kaepernick and Lamar Jackson have, but just with a better arm, a more defined game. If you understand what I mean when I say that, he has a more defined game. He's an overall better quarterback in terms of passing with precision, hitting open receivers, making reads on the defense. So I just think having that kind of experience with Greg Roman, who also has Super Bowl experience as well, because he went to the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers. He has a lot of success. He's had a lot of success, and I just think that would translate over beautifully to a more defined and more polished quarterback in passing terms in Deshaun Watson, having that kind of guy call those kind of plays. The last name would be the last guy I think should be considered for this head coaching, soon to be, I hope, vacancy of the Houston Texans would be, and I love this guy's name, would be offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, Brian Daboll. Every time I say his name, I'm going to do that because I just absolutely love that. I just love that last name. I just do. Don't judge me on. But Brian Daboll is the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, as I just said. He has one Josh Allen, who we've seen grown before our very eyes right there in Buffalo. And then you give him weapons like Stephon Diggs on top of growing the chemistry, growing the chemistry with his offensive line, having a great defense to boot with that. And as y'all know, Houston Texans, we saw the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, and if it wasn't for the greatness of Deshaun Watson unraveling before our very eyes, the Buffalo Bills very well had us beat. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, who's just ascending. Having Brian Daboll call his plays, who's had a lot of success with Josh Allen. And we can also argue that Deshaun Watson has the same type of build that Josh Allen's had. He's a little bit more slender, but they have the same type of game. You know, they can run RPOs, they can pass really well, they can precision pass really well, and I just think that would be a great addition to our offense. Again, it would be a breath of fresh air, and I just think Brian Daboll would do a great job with a guy like Deshaun Watson for the simple fact that I see what he's doing with Josh Allen, and Deshaun Watson, his type of game is not really that different. So you give him that on top of having success with quarterbacks before, and I just think that would be a great addition to our offense, and again, a breath of fresh air to the Houston Texans organization. That's going to be the end of today's video. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Again, if you have any suggestions on who you think should be the next head coach of the Houston Texans, let me know in the comments section. I will say this also, honorable mention, as I said in my earlier video, Dabo Swinney should take some consideration as well, because he's one with Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson would definitely sign off on that. So thanks again for watching. I'll be back later with more content and more videos. Now hashtag that. Enough said.